friends, today we are going to make a Tic Tac Toe game in Scratch but with a lot of added features. Like we'll have different game modes and even interactive title screens. This is split into many episodes and in this episode we are going to only design the title screens. As you can see, I have made my own Scratch project and called it Tic Tac Toe Episode 1. All links are going to be there in the description link which you can find out. Now we start by painting a sprite from the internet, or we can paint ourselves, or you can use my assets either. Here I have used my assets, the other asset income. The play button should always be in the perfect center or else it might cause any problems. Now we have our two costumes. Now we have to see their positioning on screen. First, what do? We use when green flag clicked. This is the first code. And we have to first set them on the screen. So, first we go to X0, Y0. That's for the logo costume. Then we should switch costume to our play costume. The play spelling is very important. If it is wrong, it will not work correctly. And because we are going to add a bouncing title screen effect, we must also make sure that and the size will change. So let's make sure by default on when the flag is clicked, it starts with 100% size. Now let's switch costume to play first. Then let's make clone. We can then switch costume to the logo costume, but don't make a clone. Let's see. Now we can see that Tic Tac Toe logo is overlapping it. We set it correctly. Now make sure the X is always 0. That makes sure it's perfectly centered. Let's check. No. Yeah, I forgot to switch the costume. Now, if we look, we have proper. This will may go a bit down. That's okay. Let's make it minus 20. That's better. Now, when we start as a clone, first we run a forever check. What check? If our mouse is hovering over or not. So, let's use touching mouse pointer. Now we could make a proper code in both of them, but that will be a repetition. So let's make our own custom block. Let me call it bounce to size. And our first input will be a numeric input of size. Then we add a text called force and give input force. We have it. Now we directly use it here and use for this one, let's make our size 125 with force of 2. And for the other one, let's switch it back to 100, but this time with negative force, minus 2. So it goes backwards instead of the forward. So now we have to define our bouncing effect. How do we do it? So let's make our variable first, the speed. We don't want my variable, that's by default. Let's make a speed variable. Make sure this is not for all sprites because we only need it here. And the speed will control the rate. First off, let's set the speed. Directly add by adding speed to force. But also the button will face air resistance. And to make it as realistic as possible, we multiply it with our size. So with 0.9. So we set speed to speed into 0.9 to reduce it a bit, but add by force, not to force. Now, after this, we change size by this value, speed. Now don't mind the thing that's going on the other side. That will happen because now we are making the code. But that's okay. Let's try it. Now as we can see, it has become very small. And once we get it right on top of it, it expands. Why is this? Because we have not applied any limit. It just goes back, and the force -2 just, see, as you can see, the speed variable is down. And as we have no limit, it has grown extreme big or extreme down. So let's add first our bigger limit. If this will also be useful because that will know the bouncing effect is something like it grows and hits something and goes back. So we can know if that's why our target size comes in. If our size is more than target size, or here is just size, then we set size back to target size. Okay, so this is just an upper bound. Now it doesn't prevent it from shrinking very down, but it does not allow infinite growth either. Now what we need to next change is change the speed. So what we do? We set speed. Now when it bounces back, it goes back with a little less speed. So what we do? We change speed to speed into 0.8. But this time it should be in the reverse direction. So minus 0.8 in the other direction. So let's try this. It has a nice bouncing effect I like. But we have to add a lower bound. Now I could add a big nested if. But other than that, I can use the AND operator or the equal to operator, which acts kind of the same. Here, this equal to operator does not act like AND, it acts like a logical XNOR. So when both the statements are true, it is true. And both the statements are same, it is same. True and true means true equal to true, it will return true. If both are false and false equal to false, that will return true. But if false and true are equal, they will return false. I am not sure I am explaining it right, but you can have a still better look at it. But now what we do? We check force greater than 0. How does it work? If force is greater than 0, that means we know it is the going up way, and size is greater than size, then it works. But if force is less than 0, and then size is not less than the size, it acts as a lower limit. So let's put it here and let's see it in action. See? Now it has a very nice bouncing effect. So this is what we exactly wanted to simulate. But yes, we can also add some sounds. I will add the geometry dash menu music. I have muted the sound for my screen recording running, so I'll be able to hear it. We don't want the pop sound. We can run it as when green flag clicked, forever play geometry dash menu music. But the problem with this now is that even though it's working nicely, it's not really clickable. It doesn't do anything when clicked. Yeah. Why is it called name? Yeah, we should change the sprite name to something like title. Or let's make it menu. That's better. Now we could directly use a standard when this sprite clicks. But the thing is that it will run even when somebody clicks the Tic Tac Toe letters, which is not working. Like if I put this, like let's say hello, and now if I click it, see, it says, even works with both. But that's not how it should be. So that's why I said we need to make sure the word play is very important. When it is clicked, we can find out what is clicked the instant like this. When it is clicked, if our costume name is equal to play. Here the play wording should be correct or doesn't work. properly at all. When a space will not make it work. So if costume name is equal to play, then just for the test I'm just saying hello. It should not work like that, but now if we run it, it only says and doesn't work here anymore. See, it runs but it doesn't show up anymore. But here it works and says hello. Well, it should not say hello. But okay. Remove the block now. Just remove it and it's gone. And it has this nice effect. I like it. So after play is equal to 0, what next? We should first stop all the music that goes on. So let's use stop all sounds. Then the next thing we should do is that we should remove the height. We should not be seen. And we can also lastly delete the clone to remove the play button. Let's clean up the blocks and try it. So as you can see, it vanishes. This is not hiding. No, sorry. Yes. So why is the Tic Tac Toe not hiding? Well, the reason is simple. The sprite is clicked, the costume play is there, and then it's only hiding the costume play. The actual sprite is actually visible. So it will have no more effect if I remove this hide. If I don't have the hide, it will still be the same. See? So how can we improve this? We can use a broadcast. Call it game initialize. Broadcast, not message one. Game initialize. Okay. This is also useful for our later parts of the code. And let's check. And as it works very well. Thank you. Stay tuned, stay safe, and wait for the second episode as well. Bye. Please like and subscribe.